Good morning, everybody from Zoom land. Hope you're having a great Wednesday so far. All right, Ed, I loved how your speech objective was to take the feedback from the previous speeches and see if you could apply it in this speech. And that was awesome because I happened to evaluate your last speech. So I'm glad I had my notes available and I could kind of compare and contrast. And I've seen some definite areas of growth and improvement. One of the suggestions I had made for you last week or last time was to use the whole stage, not just stick in one little place. And I noticed growth in that area. You had a much better use of the stage. Your movement felt more intention as opposed to just kind of rocking back and forth. So that was freaking awesome. You also had more engagement in our audience. In previous speeches that you've given, especially with the one on the storytelling, it was more just a monologue of what happened to you and explaining your whereabouts. And this time was a lot more different. You asked us a question. Anytime you ask the audience a question, even if they're not the one that is answering the question, there's the fear that, oh no, the audience, the speaker might call on me. I got to think of my answer real quick. So you really got us to engage with that. Also, previous feedback was your use of hand gestures. I want to say the last speech, I think it was your left hand was just basically in your pocket most of the time, and you basically were just kind of operating with your right hand. That was not so. That was not the case in this presentation. You purposely used both of your hands, making sure to involve that. Vocal delivery was amazing. I loved your use of humor, the F word. I could see some people kind of cringing. Where is this going? I really enjoyed seeing Leo's reaction on Zoom once you dropped the F bomb of flexibility. That was awesome. Um, One of the recommendations I've made in your previous speeches was call to action, right? What's the point? Why are you telling me about your stories and your travels? What does this have to do with the audience? Whether that's just helping them feel good, telling them a good story, engaging them, but you had a clear call to action. Just that, like, hey, you may have not been the person that you wanted to be when you grew up in third grade. That's okay. Life has twists and turns and probably ended up for your betterment. So a couple recommendations. As always, you move lectern over to engage with that audience. I noticed you moved it over just slightly. So although I saw a little bit more audience participation with the space you used, the lectern kind of kept you from fully engaging with the right side of the room. Maybe perhaps just slide it all the way out of the way. Besides putting your glasses down on the lectern, you didn't use your notes. You didn't even use it at all. So push it out of the way. That way you're not just trapped. And then also being a Zoom member, I was really looking for eye contact with the camera. We all struggle with this occasionally, staring at a little tiny glass circle on a thing called a camera. It's not personable. We don't get any feedback. It's not colorful. So I know that can be difficult to do, but I just want to further encourage you to engage your Zoom audience by looking at that camera occasionally from time to time. Other than that, man, great job. Awesome use of pauses and being more intentional with your words instead of letting those ums and ahs take over your speech. So keep growing, brother. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.